Hello and welcome to today's wild Hearthstone deck tech and gameplay video on Spell Aggro. Now this is, when I say Spell Aggro, it's more like Spell Caster Aggro. But that's, doesn't really roll off the tongue the same way. But what the deck wants to do is to play ideally like a Flame Walker or a Spectral Trainee. And even arguably a Mana Wyrm kind of does a similar thing. Wants to play a couple of these creatures and then just play loads of like spells and try and use the combination of the damage from the creatures and say the damage from the spells to go to your opponent's face and try and win the game very early on. Again, to do that we have cards like Flame Waker and Mana Wyrm and Spectral Trainee. Honorable mention to Drekthar here. He's sort of like an extra copy of one of the other versions you have in your deck. Blizzard, if you're watching this, please unearth this card. Or take away the second wolf from the goddamn paint, the actual art of the card. Do one of the two. Because one, this card is not that powerful and would not do that great in Wild if it was still two creatures. But if for whatever reason, again, I think it is, get rid of one of the wolves. Because now the art doesn't make any fucking sense. The only reason why I know the art makes sense is like because I'm a WoW player and I was Horde. I know who Drekthar is. I've done AVs in my life. But anywho, beyond the creatures that care about spells, we have the actual spells themselves. The honorable mention to Elemental Companion. It's kind of both. It is both a spell that will trigger a Flame Walker and will also summon a dude. All of which care about spells in one way, except for Misho, which is just a dude, a very boring dude, but it's fine. The other two care about spells though. Also have cards kind of like the Violet Spellwing, which is both a creature and will also give you another spell, much in the way of companion. But we also just have like normal spells, like Siphon Mana if you need to go face or get some cost reduction. Actual Arcane Missiles and Jaina's Gift, amongst other things, are actual spells, all of which you can throw at your opponent's face. And we also have a little bit of like draw and some redundancy built in. Again, Jaina's Gift can be Arcane Intellect if you need it to be. We also have actual Arcane Intellect and Refreshing Spring Water. Also, Stargazing and Star Scryer are also kind of card draw. Same thing with the Stellar Balance. Since in an aggressive deck like this, you need a good amount of fuel, because if you run out of fuel, you'll just sputter out and die eventually when your opponent, turns the corner and wins, since you won't be able to apply the damage to end the game. But anywho, that is honestly the basics of the list. Don't forget to like the video if you like it, subscribe if you like my grab bag content, and would like to see more of it in the future. And if you have, nice questions like, I don't have X, what about Y, or other generally constructive comments, I'll do what I can to respond to what I see. With all that out of the way, we'll go on now to game number 1. And game number 1, with our little spell aggro list. Honestly, it's fine. Only thing that would arguably make this opener any better is if the Spellwing was a Mana Wyrm, but this is good enough that we'll just, we'll take what we can get. My opponent has given me not really any information, but that's fine. Spellwing. Was going to play Stellar Balance, but with the Star Scryer draw, we'll just do that instead. Maybe less so now. You know what? No. But do your weird Refam thing. Just, yeah. They can trade into our stuff anyway, so I'm not really going to worry that much about what they're doing. Honestly, I can count on one hand the amount of experience I have with the Refam cards, the Fabled Refam. So I'm not really going to sit here and lose my mind about what might be. We're just going to go face and I'll deal with the rest of it later. Also, if nothing else, play some stellar balances and build up enough spells in hand to like make a big scary flame walker. What is this? Discover from your deck. Cool. That certainly is a card. Fine. Second Flame Walker does kind of seal our opponent's fate a smidge. Well, it seals their fate. Yeah, it's a strong way to describe it. Flame Walker, Moonbeam. Hopefully get lucky and get rid of some dudes. Arcane Missile. Again, Missile and the Flame Walker we will get rid of. They're one little guy. If they'd probably have an answer, if we're being honest. I would imagine they would. Renathal is a card. So we're going to play a Flame Waker. Stellar Balance. Hopefully get some lucky shots and throw a couple towards... Yeah. A couple towards the... What's the word? Renathal. We're actually going to Moonfire Face. I'd be very surprised if one of our Flame Waker hits don't go to the Renathal. Yeah, then we just go face for the rest. We're in a really good spot for us. If they try and go a little bit wider, we can do up to 2 Arcane Barrages and like really mess with any board they summon. Why that? Why? That, sure, I guess. We're just going to Starfire going face. Again, almost certainly one of our things is going to hit the 1/1. We do know they have 2 more of their little their lifesteal drinks, so like one of our Flame Wakers is not long for this world. And that's like fine. Calamitous Reform. What the hell is this? 6 damage to all main. That's like cute. This might sound weird. I don't think I care. Just go face. Our opponent can do their last 2 casts of their drink on their own guy, which is an option. But if he does that, we're fine. Now that... Okay, that kind of gums up the works a little bit. Do I still just not care? Is that like the trick? Is that the $1 million play? I wish I couldn't care. I think I have to care a little bit. Yeah, Elemental Companion, why not? There's an argument to be made. We could have just avoided it and keep throwing spells face, but it's very unlikely they're not going to have some ways to stabilize. Nothing else, just force our opponent to like make decisions. I mean, yeah, cool. You have some cards. Companion. Not either of the ones that would have helped me in any meaningful way, but sure, we'll do Spring Water. Mana Wyrm. I guess we'll Star Scryer and just hope this board survives. Because if this board survives, one of the perks, I guess, of Misho here is that you can't directly target it. But if it survives, we might have lethal or very close to it. Or not. We've probably lost, haven't we? That really stinks. I guess Stargazing. And now we're just gonna devolve back to throwing all of our stuff face. Just hope we get there. Because clearly, like, trying to be fair is not the answer here. I think if we draw... Oh, please remove a spell of your own. Okay, that's fine. They're alive, but like that's a trade I'm willing to make. That's fine. Depending on what they draw, they might still be dead. Portal Vanguards. Well, okay, I guess it would draw reforms if you have nothing but reforms. My brain starts to melt. Refreshing spring water. Let's see what we find. That helps. Arcane Intellect. See what we can find. Another Arcane Intellect. See what we can find. I think we just in turn. Part of me wanted to play the Spellwing, but like in the case they had like more lifesteal removal spells, we like don't want to give them a free target. Again, if they want to like remove their own board to gain life, that we're fine with that trade. Ideal? No. Hilarious? Yes. What is this? Give reforms buff. We don't die. Well, I was gonna say, we don't die unless they have like a secret hating card in their ETC, which would be absolutely awful. But it's certainly a legal option. What a fool, he didn't pop the block at 1, it's totally gonna matter. Oh, that's very funny. Jaina's gift. One of the reasons why we have it. I love the gift cards. They're way better than people give them credit for. There are moments like this when you can just throw a couple fireballs at your opponent's face for 1-man attacks. Those cards are great. And we got there eventually. Props to our opponents, though, for actually trying their farm cards. I think I can count on one, maybe on both my hands the amount of times I've seen the cards. It's very cute. I don't know if it's very good, or even kind of good. But I always applaud people who genuinely try stuff. Anywho, now we'll go on to game number 2. And game number 2 with our little spell aggro list.
Let the games begin.
Honestly, still pretty good. I think we can throw back the balance. We don't need that right now. Maybe get lucky and find something a little cooler, but that's... can't win them all. That's fine. Still would very much love to have a Mana Wyrm on turn 1. Why is everybody running? I mean, it's like, sure, fine. I do like the kind of symmetrical effect of it. It makes it a little more bearable. Once again, a Violet Spellwing. If we have nothing to do, we'll probably just conjure a Mana Biscuit and save the Biscuit itself. For like a big scary turn where we do big scary things. If our opponent... A lot of Death Knights that I see in my own experience are like some of... what is it, Plagues? So like, Plagues can be a little bit difficult to deal with. But Leeches are fine. We don't love them, but they're fine. Let's see what our opponent does here. I mean, they have 1,000,001 ways to answer a single Flamewalker, but I think we... Well... Companion changes it. Maybe we play the Companion if they have some sort of... Yeah, no, just... No, make them have it. If they want to trade their whole board in to kill a guy, that's fine. Trading their whole board in to kill a guy. Okay, that's a perfectly legal option. Believe we're gonna do some fun stuff here. Do a coin. Got lucky and got rid of it immediately. Stellar Balance. Do a Moonfire, and then we're just gonna like throw a whole lot of stuff at our opponent here. Very surprised if a whole lot of it sticks, but big scary turns like this where you do like 10 damage or whatever is kind of what the deck wants to do. And we're in a good spot. We have choices depending on what they do. They had that 5 mana. Is it 5 or 6 mana for the big leech that summons a couple other leeches? What the fuck? Oh, spend 2 corpses. Sorry, I thought it was the card that deals damage equal to your corpses, not the other way around. That is fine. Mana Wyrm. Arcane Intellect. Drekthar is kind of nice. I was gonna say if they had the big bug that summons 2 leeches but makes your leeches sap an extra health, you would be in for a bad time. But fucking Gnome Muncher is also a bad time. What do you think? Sure, why not Drekthar? Give me some light at the end of the tunnel here. Flamewalker, we would love to get very lucky and get rid of the Muncher. Well, we literally can't happen now, so there goes that dream. We probably could have just used our big removal spell on the Gnome Muncher, and that's like fine. Would have probably been smart. Yeah, man. Okay, I'm gonna talk shit about Death Knight. That was the guy. What the fuck is his name? Hideous Husk. That was the bug that cares about other bugs that I was talking about. Yeah, I don't think there's anything we do here. I think we're just dead, which is fun. We have to get rid of it now, even though we're just gonna get chipped away by goofy shit. This is a point that I've talked about many times in Wild, but like is especially true with Death Knight, and arguably even more so with Demon Hunter, although Demon Hunter has its own problems. Dude, there's like, for being sincere, and I'm not being hyperbolic, maybe like 70-80% of the list are either a list that is like a leech list, or a list that's like, hey, I run plagues or whatever that the curses are or whatever, and that Helga card like makes them permanent. And I'm sure there are other like weird corner case ones that I don't know about, but like it's not a good sign that that's even where we are. Arcane Barrage, we gotta try to get rid of some of the guys. Yeah, let's go face. Why not? Yeah, it's not a great look. We're probably dead, and that's like fine. But oh yes, the fact that there's like 70 to 80% of the list, or like one of 2 list, is not like a great. That's cool. Are not a great look for Blizzard when it comes to like the ability to design Death Knight stuff. And I don't know if actual Death Knights and actual WoW are like as stale, or this is just a weird fucking card game thing. But at least Death Knight gets a couple of decks. Dude, you do not see Demon Hunters. You just don't. How does that work? We're almost certainly dead, but I actually want to do this ice block thing, because I don't know if stealing health, like, if I'm immune, does that, like, mean they can't steal health? Because it's not doing damage. But we're going to find out real quick. Oh, there's more. Well, we still are going to find out real quick. Yeah, can life being stolen, like, get under an ice block? Maybe? Does it? Come on. In the turn, please. It fucking does go under. Okay, I was wondering how that worked. Alright, alright. Bit of a loss. And that's fine. You're gonna lose. The deck is not like some perfect, awesome thing. It's genuinely very fun. And it's like functional. Oh, hello, cat. No, not on the buttons, please. You gotta make up your mind if you're like where we're hanging out. But deck is a lot of fun. I'm sure there are like some optimizations you can make for a deck like this. Some like spell slingery kind of thing. Not quite certain where they are, but this is one of those where if you have, recommendations at home, please leave them in the comments below. I have one stipulation when people recommend cards. If you say one card has to go out, you have to replace it with another card. Because it's easy to say just take things out or add things, but there are deck building, requirements we gotta meet. But anywho, thank you all so much for watching. Sweet cat bumping up against microphones and the like. Thank you all so much for watching. Don't forget to like the video if you like it. Subscribe if you like my grab bag of content and would like to see more in the future. Ow, cat, that's a claw. And if you have any sort of questions like, I don't have X, what about Y, or other generally nice and or constructive comments, go ahead and leave them down in the comments below. I'll respond to what I see, or try to respond to what I see. Now, with that all out of the way, I'll see you all in the next video. Bye-bye.